Good morning. Good morning. I'm John Halcyon. This is a Love Ambassador morning. Going to talk a little bit about Burning Man and why all the hate. Why so much negativity online after the event. This is a daily practice. It is one of sharing gratitude and connection. Thank you for joining. I'm a little late today, and actually, that put me in I was frustrated and making exclamations of a moment ago because I got caught up in something and I was really excited to do a love morning and I was late. So I was angry at myself. I'd been putting off having coffee for days and I had some this morning thinking, all right, that's going to make it a good love morning. Thank you, caffeine. Maybe it will help the song, which I try to start off with a song that I improv. And here is where the song starts, and I will sing a few tunes. And if you play with old faiths, you might experience some runes. And with me, share a gratitude. That's what we do right here. And if you are far away, I hope that you come near so we can share all the good stuff. Whether it's serious or fluff, let's share some love morning now. Woo, that was not a good one. I guess caffeine does not help with the song. Good morning, Gerbot. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Razorblade. Good morning, Jesse. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Love Morning. What are you grateful for? I am grateful for my incredibly supportive partner, Lisa. I'm grateful for a schedule that allows me to be pretty non-productive and pretty blank on my calendar for the days following Burning Man, so I can decompress and process and do a little bit of nothing. My body, my mind needs it. Good morning, Yamil. Good morning, Eddie. Yamil is grateful for making it home in one piece. Happy to hear that. Any news on your bike making it home? I think I saw a post that you're having some trouble with that. I'm hoping for good luck. Gerbot says, grateful for time to decompress. Yes. Jesse is grateful me and my boyfriend got to meet you briefly at Pinkart. Yay! I really enjoyed spending time at Pinkart. I spent quite a bit of time there on Friday night? Yes, Friday night. And I didn't realize that Pinkart was going to break down on Saturday, so there was no Saturday night at Pinkart. They did keep up the beacon, which is nice, so that you could still use it as a place to figure out your way home. But one of the reasons I stayed Saturday night is because I had so much fun on Friday night at Pinkart that I'm like, I'm just going to spend burn night at Pinkart and talk to people. And then they broke down, which I understand why they would, but it's that's why I left. I left the fly at 3 a.m. on burn night because I'm like, well, I was gonna just hang out at Pinkart and couldn't find anything else that was as much fun. Clearly, I love that place. Emil says no, bike is in camp storage. Sorry to hear that, but so many things you have to let go of. I wanted to speak a little bit about the post-burn negativity that seems to be so prevalent. I've been going to Burning Man for 26 years, and somehow the magic of the playa, the hope, the faith in humanity, the belief in ourselves, the shift of our attitudes towards optimism, you go online right after you get home and it feels like you just see complaining. Have you seen that? Have you noticed that? I saw a post that was this long rant about how dare the art car person who just rang their horn over and over at the beautiful "I'm Fine" Ukrainian piece. Now, this was one of the most powerful pieces out there. It was made out of bullet-ridden signs from the Ukraine, and it said "I'm fine," and just this visceral experience of the conflict and the pain and death of the Ukrainian people. And they said, how dare they show such cruelty and insensitivity to be blaring their art car horn. And it was long and mean and vicious and angry. Now, what that person didn't realize was that the horn was part of the piece, and the horn would go off whenever the air horns were going off in Ukraine. It was part of the intensity of the piece. I saw somebody post a legal request. How can I go about going after legally the people who built a slide in their camp that my friend went on and broke their foot, and now they have medical expenses? And I saw tons of posts like, too many influencers, the music sucked. That's an actual quote of a post that I saw. And I don't know what gets into people. I think that part of it has to do with the fact that our brains just hear the negativity louder and we remember it more. That's just how our brains work. I'm sure I saw lots more positive ones. You probably did too, but the negative ones just tend to they're just louder in our heads. And there's also, the fact that we're going through decompression and our bodies are weak. Some of us are detoxing. Our serotonin levels are trying to build back up. And so it's too easy to fall into negativity, complaints, and patterns. And I think it's also good to remember, if you are not aware of this, that Burning Man has never translated well to online communication. I've been going to Burning Man before there was social media talk about it. There was no Facebook. There was there was some MySpace back in the day, but and there was some message boards. But as soon as there were people talking about Burning Man online, it was skewed towards aggression and negativity. And I was like, what the fuck? You can see it in even leading up to the event, in all the snarkiness and the meanness that you see in posts when people are asking for help. You're like, why do people treat each other this way online? That's not how we treat each other when we're there. And I think you see so much of it on the other side too, now that we're home. And I find it a very disheartening and dangerous thing to see that much negativity. I think one of the reasons is because it's easier. It's easier to fall into negativity, to start disassociating from the magic. It's easier to fall back into our old minds, to fall back into our own patterns, than to challenge ourselves, than to go, no, it was that good. There were things to complain about, but there was so much good. I saw so much potential out there. I saw people collaborating in ways. I saw people spending their efforts, their energies, their skills, their passions, working with other people and contributing, collaborating, all of these talents and resources to gift things to fellow human beings to get what? To get that feeling of making other human beings' lives better. That we experienced that. That was real. And it's possible. And when you know it's possible, I think we have a responsibility to hold on to that and to keep trying to practice it, to radically self-express, to encourage others to radically self-express, to practice the 10 principles any way we can so that we can hold on to this possibility. Because I think what we witnessed there is this momentum of humanity, this momentum of culture that is what is possible towards hope, towards collaboration, towards creativity, growth, self-expression, self-awareness, as opposed to the momentum that we are being shown on these digital tools, which is an algorithm that is literally pushing us towards negativity and frustration and conflict, because that is what gets the most engagement. And our brains are not well equipped enough to fight against that. And so we are second guessing ourselves. We're letting go of the grasp that we had on possibility, hope, and belief and inspiration, and starting to fall back into a world of disappointment, of people suck, of hopelessness. But let's try not to do that. Let's try to know our brains well enough to go, this is what a brain wants, to focus on the negativity. And the algorithm feeds on that and pushes us towards the negativity. So let's use one another to make a new algorithm. Let's start a text thread with some burner friends. Let's send a thank you note to our camp leaders, or write a note to the rangers or to the temple guardians. Let's remember a moment that we had out there where we went, wow, look at how incredible humans are. And let's just journal about that moment. Let's find little ways to remind ourselves to support others. And when you see people writing the good stuff, when you people saying, I'm guilty of this. I see someone write a naive, simple thing. Oh, that was so great. And I go, cool. But I don't spend time. Let's like that. Let's like every time someone is in that feeling of, oh, that was amazing. Go, yes, it was. Let's write a little comment and leave a note. Let's do our part to be a part of the algorithm that pushes towards affirming the good and the magic. I know that I got sucked in, and I spent more time reading the negative threads. And I'm reminding myself in this moment, and hopefully reminding you, that we need to actively do the opposite. We need to send out the thank you text. We need to write the happy memory. We need to post the picture of the art that blew our mind. We have a responsibility. If you got to experience Black Rock City, you're in a statistically 0% statistically of the percentage of the humans of this planet over the history of humanity have got to witness that. So it's so small. It's so rare. There's a responsibility. It is irresponsible to let it go, fall back into your old patterns, and wait a year until you get to be surrounded by it again, and it's thick enough that you can be strong within community. We are strong in the community so that we can get stimulated in that direction, so that we can be courageous now in a world that is not going to give us the same feedback of yes, more please. We got to do it even when the algorithm is discouraging us, even when the voices around us are not celebrating it. We have to be the ones that do that. Because I still believe that what happens in Black Rock City is among the most important things that happen on this planet to change minds, to redirect, to awaken possibility out of the grooves of our current world. That's worth taking some risks. It's worth putting some effort. So I am challenging myself and you. Please let me know the ways that you are using to keep it alive. And I will be starting any day now, a Facebook group about integration and decompression. But My motivation is simply to provide a place for us to come together and do this. It is free, and I am open to other suggestions. I know that I am susceptible to losing my connection to the power of this community. And I know that the most impactful, potent way to stay in that place is through community, is through support, is through reminders from fellow burners or fellow, and when I say burners, not necessarily people that have been to Black Rock City, people that are willing to dedicate energy and time and intention towards practicing the 10 principles. So join me, inspire me, remind me, and you do you. Let's welcome each other home now that we are home from home. Let's try to make the default world a little bit more magic. All right, that was a little. I wanted to let that rant go a little bit. So thanks for your patience. Jesse says, my boyfriend went around rating couches at Burning Man, and Pinkart won comfiest couch on Playa. Woo! That warms my pink heart. Eddie says, so extremely grateful for having an incredible first time in BRC. Also grateful I got to make the pink ride. I got to meet. Thank you. That was such a highlight. I have some cool little video clips that I will be editing soon. As soon as I get my phone back, which is en route, thanks to Curie. Thank you so much. But there's some video clips on there that I will be able to edit with some of the clips that were gifted to me and uploaded, and try to make a little memory clip, little edit of what was the highlight of my year again. Thanks for being a part of it, Eddie. Kiri says, I'm feeling a lot better today. Yes, me too. Sometimes you need rest. Eddie says, if any of y'all recycled at Recycle Camp, thank you. Good morning, Julie. Jesse says, I'm definitely running into the don't divorce your parakeet issue post Burning Man this year, which, if I remember correctly, that is a post that says, don't make any drastic changes right after the burn, which I'm conflicted on that. You know, I think maybe there's something to don't maybe make a drastic change, don't quit your job, but maybe make a plan to quit your job and then think about it, because there is some power to the decisions that you come to when you are in a peak experience, whether that is Burning Man, whether psychedelics, whether that is after a retreat. Can it blow your life up? Yes. Is it sometimes good to blow your life up? Sometimes. So maybe don't quit your job, but write down your plan and then look at it in a week and say, I still want to do this. I still want to take the big risk. I still want to sacrifice my security for whatever. I don't think it's not necessarily the wrong choice, but there's some wisdom in maybe holding on to the choice before you make it. Carrie says, the landscape of the internet is so wildly different than the landscape of Black Rock City. The energy there is impossible to translate to the online space. It's true, but it seems to be worse than other places, like when you go in an online group after, a retreat, there seems to be, I think it's just because the size and the nature of online, I don't know. It is really, Like, I never expected it to be the same, but I did expect it to be a tool. Like, I think it's because the impact of negativity is so strong. So there's let's say this year there was 50,000 people at the burn. I don't want to get into the numbers, but let's say 60,000. I don't know. So whatever it was, there's over 50,000 people in the Black Rock Desert. A certain percentage of those people are assholes, bike thieves, creeps, and super negative. And when a tiny percentage of those people can make a massive impact on individual experiences and definitely be amplified in online spaces. So whether it's stories about those negative people or the negative people themselves, that impact can be dramatic. And it's good to remember that it's a tiny percentage of the population that's causing that. Yamil said that she didn't, when she read about the horn, that it was an aha moment. Kat says, I have chills from the I'm Fine piece. Such an amazing piece. And be the version of Burning Man you want it to be. Yes. I'm also showing such positives online too. The Reno folks are helping everyone stuck in Reno. I'm so proud of those burners. Thank you for that example. I think that's, that's a good reminder for me too, that like, it is easy to notice the negative stuff, and there's so much positive stuff too. So that is, I will be pushing myself to see and amplify that as well. Thanks, Kat. Mike Karume says, compliment everyone for what they are. I love that. That is such a, it's such a cultural thing at Burning Man, the complimenting, and it's a beautiful habit to continue into the default world, even though you won't get the same level of reception. Still worth doing. Thank you, Julie. I love you too. Kiri says, back the algorithm for love. Hack the algorithm for love. I'm not sure if that was both supposed to go together or if that was a correction, but I love it. Part-time says, hug a ranger. Amen to that, Thunderbird. Laura says, I'm sometimes tired to always be the one organizing a decom party or burner pub because I do the work by myself in Europe. That is a hard thing. And I think that whether that is within your theme camp or a decom, avoiding that place of feeling like you are doing too much is an important one. You do want to make it feel like it's a gift. If you don't feel the joy of gifting, if you feel like you are doing too much, then it's not a gift. It's fallen into a struggle, or it kind of loses something. So, which is different than what I'm saying of like expressing your burner self into the default world, into the non-burners. Or maybe changing your attitude of like, I'm doing a burner party to invite non-burners. It's part of my ambassadorship. And yes, it's going to be hard. And yes, it's going to take too much work, but this is part of my gift. It's in the same way that I would make a theme camp, is that it is a lot of work because of it is my form of activism. I don't know. I'm just thinking this through. Kat says, maybe we can come up with an art piece, represent finding the good and being the positive in the world. I like that idea. The Facebook group is called, I think it's called 2024 Integration. I should have found that link before I started. Shoot me a message if it's not obvious to find. I think it's called 2024 Integration, or I think it's PostBurn integration, 2024 PostBurn integration. Thanks, Kiri. Thanks, Jesse. Oh, I'm way behind on messages. I realize now. Sorry about that. Good morning, Jax. Good morning. Christopher says, I'm grateful for this community in general, but I'm specifically grateful for the Burning Man webcam and the images that trickled out to ease my FOMO in a vicarious fashion. I didn't realize how impactful the webcam is and what a gift it is. Really, many people that I talked to were able to feel connected through the webcam. It's really a beautiful service. Carrie says, every time I divorced my parakeet, I survived, and life ended up steering me to where I was meant to go. Take it from Carrie. Julie says, I made some of my biggest life decisions at the trash fence. That should be a sticker. Thunderbird says, you just need to know what the right time is to make those big changes. One of my favorite quotes I heard long ago was, people say that winners never quit, and that's not true. Winners know when to quit. Jesse pointed out that you lose a lot of tonal context online. Body language and things like that make communication difficult. And that's part of it. And I think also part of it is that there is an energetic experience of witnessing a fellow human being and the slight shifts of their energy and such. And when you are in a snarky or cruel or mean way, and you sense that is being received in a way that is not funny, I think you pull back or you soften or you say little adjustments to your style so as to not feel cruel. I don't think people want to be cruel, but you don't feel a connection to that cruelty with the ways, the tonal, without the stuff that you're talking about, Jesse. Kat says, we watched the Thunderdome get moved on the webcam. I didn't understand. Okay, so I didn't follow that. I just saw a sign saying like missing Thunderdome. Was that a prank? Kelly says, did you find your phone? My phone was at Lost and Found, which Kiri picked up and went through heroic efforts to send it back to me. It's on its way back to me right now. Good morning, Carla. Victoria says, toxic behavior should be walked away from. Kat says, we are part of the Afterglow event in Sacramento in October. It's wonder to bring the love and principles back to the default. Victoria says, grateful to feel softer after this burn. Hug you next year, AJ. I was really unavailable this year. I was at a different camp and not there very long and was resting quite a bit. So I did not connect with nearly as many people in the past. So thanks for your understanding and thanks for leaving the pendant for me. AJ says, so grateful for all my moments of connection and reflection, sometimes hard and sometimes easy. Makrume says, amen to webcam. While up north in woods having my personal moment, I was able to stay connected. Victoria says, it was a prank and it got moved to the right of our frontage. Look at that. That's wild. That seems like a pretty elaborate prank. Carla says, grateful that I got to watch the man burn through the webcam. Bummed I missed the temple burn because I was taking my friend to the hospital. But super grateful I saved my friend's life. Oh my gosh. Grateful Mingle could help put pictures of my loved ones in the temple. And from what I understand, the temple webcam was a difficult one because of the moisture on the lens and the white out, it was a very difficult. It was not quite the as visually. It was a difficult one to see. So maybe good that you were just there in spirit. I felt very honored that I was able to bring quite a few pictures and printouts for people and put it in the temple. It was a very powerful temple. I've actually been crying a lot since I got back. Every movies, TV shows, Lisa has been very understanding and loving as I cry many times a day. And I cried quite a bit when I was there as well. Oh goodness, we've been talking for, oh no, I started late, so it's not quite as long a broadcast as I thought, but good to see everyone for our daily love broadcast. I will try to continue going at 9 in the future, 9 West Coast. So thank you for joining and sharing your gratitude. I'm so grateful for this practice. Thank you for sharing your gratitude and for witnessing. Let's try to keep the gratitude and the playa magic alive. Hello, Jackie. We are very good here. So before we go off into our worlds, let's have a hug. So wherever you are, give yourself a big old squeeze, appreciating this body, this moment, reminding ourselves of the magic, encouraging ourselves to push towards appreciation and optimism and faith and hope and inspiration, knowing that we have felt it and so we can access it and we can be the agents of promotion of these things in the world. We can be the algorithm. Let's hack the algorithm. As we take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and all of you beautiful love ambassadors, thanks for being a part of this love morning. I love you. I see. Please read my comment. Email me if it's something important. I sometimes don't get to see all the comments.